Alright, I hope these people aren't mad at me for filming the RV, but I am really fascinated with this design. I don't know if this is considered a Class B or a Class C. I would think it'd be a Class B. It's basically a regular van. They have the roof, looks like a bunk area. I don't know if that's a bed or storage up there. But it does extend out over the van frame. So what they did was they expanded it out. I don't know if you can see right there. It's wider. The body is wider than a van body by approximately, probably about 8 or 10 inches. Wider than a normal van body. And because you can see here, see there's the van itself, and the body kind of extends out a little bit by a couple inches wider than normal, so you get a little bit more width inside. And then of course it's got all the compartments and everything else for RVs. Got the RV windows on this side as well as the other. Got all the different storage and hookups, gas, and I don't want to show their plate or anything. I don't see a plate on here. Okay, there's a tag on here, which I'm not going to show their vehicle, but what a nice little RV. This is something I would be interested in having and living in, because it's just a perfect size. Look at it. Not much bigger than a regular van, and a whole house inside. It would be a perfect RV. To me, this is better than the little Class Bs that look like a van, essentially, like even like the road check and stuff. I would prefer something like this. I think you got more headroom. Unless the road check, maybe because they lower the floor, maybe you do have headroom there. But that is cool. I do like that design. I think it's an awesome design. I wonder if something like that could be done on a minivan. What would happen if you tried to extend out a little minivan and put something like that on it? I wonder if it's possible. You'd have to remove the doors and the side and the body and stuff. Maybe weld out a new metal frame and extend it out. It would be very interesting, at the very least. But I don't think it'd be practical. You know, if you're going to do that, you might as well do a full-size van with a V8 or something versus a minivan with a 6-cylinder. So I'm looking at how steep the windshield line is. It would go up very steep. I'm trying to figure out how I could modify this van so that it becomes a full-blown RV with an upper deck for sleeping. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep my eyes out for parts that could be used. And then I think I'm going to talk to Mad Max and see what he says. Until next time, everyone, take care. Stay safe. God bless you all. And if you're in Florida, I hope you're trying to stay cool. Me, I'm going to be dealing with the battery issue and trying to swap out batteries right now. It did start up. Now that it's been sitting for a while, look at all these love bugs. They're everywhere. I was hoping to deal with cleaning the van out at the beach side, because I'm getting sick of all these love bugs everywhere, but I don't know if that's going to be possible or not. So let's get started here and see what happens. And yeah, the vehicle's starting and running just fine. So sometimes it's starting, sometimes it's not starting. I think I'm just going to go ahead and swap the batteries out and say forget it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to swap the battery out because I don't want it to not start when I really need it to start. And I think it is, you know, the battery is 6 years old and I'm having issues with it starting sometimes, not starting other times. So we'll go ahead and swap the battery out and see if that doesn't fix the problem somewhat permanently. I'm going to go ahead and swap it out right now while I have the luxury of time. So stay tuned and we'll see what happens. Alright, I popped the hood, put a little blue 2 here, and you can see this is where the magic happens. The engine itself is pretty much standard, normal school buses whizzing on by there. Anyhow, the engine is pretty much standard, normal. Lots of grease, lots of oil from being so old, leaking. Looks like I have a dead wasp there that has flown into the engine. Anyhow, this is the battery I'm going to be removing, even though it did just start up just now without an issue, but I'm going to remove it anyways because we've started to have problems, and I don't want to be in a situation where I have to start the vehicle and go somewhere on time and the vehicle doesn't want to start. And the reason we're doing that is I suspect the battery's losing, not holding its charge that well, especially like overnight. Because if you look at the date on here, it says 10/13. This battery's like 6 years old. Yeah, 6 years old. Almost 6 years old. Still ticking. But we're going to go ahead and replace it with a newer battery from my disassembled battery pack. And we're going to put that in here and see if we can't resolve the situation. So stay tuned. I'll go ahead and remove these terminals and have it working. But before we do that, I want to point out some stuff. You'll see this is a standard battery. This is the negative, and then this is the positive post, which has several things hooked up to it. It's got this extra line here that goes out. That's actually a fuse. This part's not connected to anything, is it? Yeah, it is connected. Okay. It's just connected to here, just one connection, one extra connection to the red right there. And the red has a fuse. It's got this big, huge fuse, industrial type fuse on here. I put a fuse on it. See, it's got a giant fuse. This is a 40 amp fuse because I allow up to 40 amps to go through. Basically, I'm allowing everything to go through unless it's a major short. So normally I could put like a 20 amp fuse here or a 30 amp fuse, but I got a 40 amp fuse on here to keep it from blowing unless it's really shorting. So we're going to undo all this and put in a new battery at this point. Alright. Just going to go ahead and remove the battery connection terminal, and we'll install the new battery and fire her up and see if she holds the charge and what's going on. Alright, the old battery is off. We disconnected the system. Now we're simply going to take out the old battery, put in our new one, and hook everything back up. Alright, it looks like this battery, the plug, the tips are actually in the wrong place. I had the positive on that end for my positive over there connection, and the negative on this end, but I don't know if it's going to reach. I'm going to try to, I don't think this comes, let's see this cable here, it's tight down there. I'm going to see if I can wiggle it and come diagonal and get it on there somehow. But yeah, it's going to be a very tight stretch. Hopefully it'll connect. Otherwise, may have to get a new cable or cut and extend it, but that's not really that good to... If you replace the cable, you want to replace the whole cable. And this actually has, I guess, a ground to it. I don't know, it's got multiple lines coming into the negative. So let me try to see if I can force it to fit. Really, the post should be on this side. So I don't know if they make the different models of the batteries, but we're going to try to get this to work. Alright, it was extremely tight, but after jiggling it around, I was able to get this to stretch and just barely make it in there. You can see it's extremely tight fit. So we're going to tighten this down on this end here, and then we'll do the other side and put the positive on it and see if we can't get everything working again. So stay tuned. Alright, I was able to get the red one on fairly easily. So what we're going to do is tighten everything down and see how well it works. Or doesn't. Cross your fingers. Alright, I've tightened down this side here with the positive, and I'm going to move my fuse out of the way here. It's back there, and also bring this up out of the way. Just don't want it touching any metal or anything, potentially shorting out. We just want our wire here out of the way. Alright, so everything's kind of tucked up safely out of the way. Hopefully no metal touching, no loose connection. This is the wire that actually goes to the back. I take the positive from here and take it to it goes onto the switch back there for the inverter cooking system. That's what connects this battery to the vehicle battery, you know, the house battery. So this is where the magic actually happens, right here. So I'm going to tighten down this part, and I'm going to try to start up the car and see how well the van does, you know, whether or not she starts up and whether or not she holds her charge. So let me tighten this part and we should be all set. This particular bolt is longer than the other one, so I couldn't use the ratchet. We got this wrench here. And we'll tighten this down. Try to get a good connection here with the negative. Alright, I think we're good. Doesn't want to move. And now it's going to be a matter of starting things up and seeing how she does. Cross your fingers. Set this down. Into the vehicle we go. Dealing with all these love bugs are driving me nuts here. It's been a couple days now, and the forecast says like another week or two. Whoa. Doesn't want to start. That battery doesn't have enough power. I wonder if all the batteries are shot. Maybe from the inverter cooking system if I let it drain too low. There is power, but not enough power is what you're hearing. When it does that, when it clicked like that, it's because there's not enough juice to start. So let's try one more time. Everything seems normal. See that? Click, 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 but it won't start. That is not enough juice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to connect the house system. I'm going to let that try to connect the battery that's in the back here, the house battery, to the front, and try to start it and see if I can't get it going. Cross your fingers. Still not enough juice. That's not good. Looks kind of bad, actually. Try one more time. Doesn't start at all, doesn't try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to jumper it using this bad battery. I'm going to jump this bad battery to that battery in addition to the house system, because maybe it wasn't charging up. Whole system doesn't seem to be charging. Let's see what the battery power looks like here. It says 12.1. It should be saying 12.8. So it's low. The battery's low here. So we'll go ahead and try to jumper it with 3 batteries and see if it'll start again, and then see if it'll hold its charge. So let me do that and get a jumper cable and try it one more time. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to try to buy a new battery, which is messed up. We'll see what happens. Alright, I'm gonna hook up all 3 batteries right now. I got all 3 systems connected to see if I can just get enough juice to get this thing to start up and charge. Almost, but not quite. We'll let it sit a little bit. Try again. Come on, blue, don't die on me now. We'll let it sit for a little bit and let all 3 batteries charge, and here we go. You can hear she's trying. She's trying. I wonder what happens if I disconnect. I have disconnected the house system. I wonder if that's what's pulling it down. So let's try again. Just 2 batteries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost. Come on. Come on, Blue. You can do this. This is probably related to the air conditioning because it's pulling electricity to run the compressor. So maybe the alternator is the next thing that will need to be replaced. But you can see what the issue is. You fix one thing and then something else goes bad. And I am roasting in here right now. I'm gonna let that try to charge a little bit, and if it can't charge, we got an issue. Might have to jumper it somehow. May have to call AAA, believe it or not. Let me think. Think. I'm gonna let the third one's juice jump in there too. Letting the all three batteries connect. Making sure everything is off. And let's try one more time. Please, start up. Almost. She almost started. Double check connections. Essentially, I'm just trying to make sure all the connections are as good as possible. Trying to let the system charge back up from that battery to that battery. I'm just not, the batteries are all weak. The system's not charging itself. Come on. Let's try it again. All right. We are actually up. Finally, we're up. We are up. Turn on the air. It is hot in here. I know turning on the air may not be the best thing, but it is hot. And I want to see what's going on with the power situation. It looks like all the batteries were dead. I had 3 batteries and they weren't charging. They weren't strong enough. Or at least they weren't charging strong enough. If you have like one bad battery, it could bring the other 2 down. So at this point right now, I'm going to disconnect this right here. I'm going to disconnect the old battery. Unplug that. Disconnect this old battery. And see how the system's doing. This is a newer battery from Walmart. I'm gonna see if it's holding its charge. Batteries tend to not do well when it's hot, and Florida gets really hot. Like, they don't do well when they're overheated. Love bugs on me. We're gonna see how much power is being generated here. This is 12.5, which is bad. I wonder if that battery is even worse. The new battery may be worse than the old one. The system is connected. Let's take a look. Disconnected right now. It says 12.2 is the house battery. House battery is at 12.2. When I turn it on, 12.4. Seems like it's getting less power than before. I wonder if the new battery is worse than the old one. That's not good. 12.5, 12.4, 12.5, it's charging up. So the alternator right now is providing some power. It could be because of the air conditioning. Let's shut off the AC and see if it jumps up. So it says 12.5. So the AC is not making much difference. House battery is trying to charge up right now. Vehicle battery is supposedly charging. If this battery's shot, then that's not good. So what I'm going to do to try to help myself a little bit, I am going to hook everything back up here and let the alternator kind of charge up this battery too before I put it in the back for storage in the event I have to jump again. And I'm going to take this van out to Walmart and have them check out the battery and see what's going on with this battery, if it's holding a charge or not. This could all be due to the inverter cooking system, which I've used a lot, but it's not so much from the inverter cooking. It's I cooked with the inverter and that would drain the power a lot, but then if I do it in the evening and I don't fully charge it up, my batteries are weak, and then I run the fan all night, that would totally drain it, you know, the 12-volt fan. So that is what could be happening right now. I could be frying the battery in that way, like overusing it, letting it draw down too low. But we'll see what happens. We'll go ahead and try to let this sit and charge up a little bit. And I may drive to Walmart or something in case I have to buy a new battery before I shut the system down. That way, if I have to replace the battery, I'll be there where I can get a new battery. Okay, this has gone up to 12.6, so it is increasing, which is good. It's just going very slow. Maybe it's just charging very slowly back up. So what we'll do is let it run for a little bit longer, maybe a few more minutes, and then put the system up and head over to Walmart to get the battery tested. Let's see if it'll charge, if it's going to have issues with charging or not. Meanwhile, you can see love bugs are all over the grill, radiator, which is not good, keeping the system from cooling down as efficiently as it should. I got like 5 million love bugs all over the van. Look at that. It's the windshield wiper. I try to catch them and let them go, but obviously I can't help these. I feel bad. I really do. I mean, you hear me laughing, but I do feel bad. I can't avoid them other than not driving when they're out. There's just so many of them. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and tune out, sign off. I'll keep you guys posted on what happens. I will let this sit for a few more minutes, disconnect it. I don't think I'm gonna stop the car. I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave it running and head out to Walmart in case I need to buy a new battery. So next time, everyone, I hope you're not having all these car issues. Blue is still running, but yeah, we still got issues. Till next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Please stay safe. Bye-bye now.